Hey, welcome back everybody. If you're new here, my name is Wes and this is A&W Acres. So I want to make a project board, and the goal of this is to help keep me organized in the tasks that I need to complete. So this board's going to have 3 columns: to do, doing, and done. I can't take credit for coming up with this. There's a channel I watch here on YouTube called Sail Life, and all credit goes to Mads and Sail Life. This is what he did, and I think it's really good. So let's create that. Okay, so easy enough, right? To do, doing, and done. So let's think about one of the first things that we need to put on this list is currently buy a jet ski. So I don't have one currently. The market is kind of hard to find affordable things, especially to then cut up. Next, we need to complete sanding the hull. So I think we can put that one in the to-do list, or I'm sorry, in the doing list. We need to come up with a dash design. We need to learn how to TIG. I'm going to put that one in the doing section because I am actually going to start that today. Let's see here. Remove seats. That needs to be started. And these are in no particular order. Let's see what else here. Figure out what we're going to do with our gas tank. I'm not convinced on that fuel tank that I have in there, the 30-gallon. It's so big and it takes up so much room. But at the same time, it would be so nice to have 30 gallons of fuel. So I think this is a good start. As projects come up, we'll add to it, and as we complete things, we'll move them over to the done. Cool, let's get started on the next project. Hey, welcome back everybody. So, as you can see, I'm a little bit messy. I've got a problem. I don't throw things away very well. But I want to clean up this wood pile here just in front of the boat. So let's take a second, organize the shop a little better, and get that wood pile cleaned up. coming to you from the cab of my pickup truck. Now, the audio probably isn't all that great because I don't have my mics on me. But headed down the road right now, headed to Lima, Ohio, to pick up a pair of jet skis. I'm really, really excited. If you can see back there, there are two jet skis. I was really impressed with the trailer, really impressed with the condition of the engine and drivetrains. The gel coats show some wear and tear, but you know what? One of them is going to get cut up, so super excited. These are 2007 GXP 215 supercharged machines, so 215 horsepower. And when the seller started them up, antifreeze came out of the jet pumps, like RV antifreeze, so made me confident that the people who had them cared about them. They've got each respectively 300 hours. So with that, there'll be some work that we have to do. We'll have to look at the superchargers, and maybe the timing chains and things like that, but I am excited. Well, what do you think, guys? I am thrilled. These are a brother and sister set. 2007 Sea-Doo RXP 215 Supercharged. They came as a pair deal, as you see, on a beautiful trailer. I think the trailer is probably the nicest part about this deal. They each respectively have a little over 300 hours. I heard them both run when the seller started them up. This one here had quite a bit of RV antifreeze in the pump. This one had a little less. This one seems to be in a little bit better shape. This one's had a hard life. She's pretty beat up on the body. And I think this is the one that we're going to use for our boat build. I don't feel so bad cutting up this one here. You know, I'll show you, I'll take you in here and show you some of the body damage and bumper damage. She's been rode hard and put away wet. I'm thrilled. I couldn't be more excited. The engines look amazing. They look so good. They do need serviced. The superchargers are going to need rebuilt or replaced. I have an idea. I can't wait to get started on this. All right, let's take a look at the engine. Pull the engine cover here. So again, these are 215 horsepower, 3-cylinder, Rotax, supercharged. Supercharger sits back here on the back of the motor, and then is force feeding the air into the throttle body. This one, I think it was this one. The oil doesn't look bad. It's got a tinge of caramel to it. Could be any one of a number of reasons. Could be condensation. Could be water from getting flipped. Or it could be, worst case scenario, blown head gasket. I'm not really concerned. I thought that we would do a compression test on this one. And let's see what our numbers are. You know, supposed to be, per the manufacturer, 120 to 150. And if I remember correctly, I think this just, yeah, there we go. So it just pops off. So 120 to 150. And I think that, I think we can get there. Again, this is actually the first time I've had this off. I didn't take those off when I was there with the seller. So I have no idea about maintenance. The kid that I bought them off of was the second owner, and he only owned them last summer, and he said he just rode them and had an absolute blast with them. Boy, that sounded good. So I'm thrilled. I think that this is going to be perfect for our application, and plus we get a whole nother jet ski. So thrilled. Now to run a compression check, we got to have some battery power. So this hatch opens up. This little guy comes out. He's pretty beat up too, kind of broken and smashed. And the battery is right down in here. Let me bring you around so you can see. All right, we got you guys down here where you can see a little bit. So the battery is held in by 2 bolts on either side, 2 nuts rather. And they are 1/2-inch jobbers. I've already loosened them a little bit here. Now I'm going to choose just to take the battery out and charge it. It looks like a fairly new battery. Hopefully they just need charged up. Looks like Die Hard brand AGM gold. So hopefully they just need a quick charge and get us back on the path to getting a compression check. Uh-oh, well, that's how that goes. Well, I see it, but I don't think my fingers can grab it. Let's see though. Hey, all right. And then the next are going to be those top just mounts, the terminal mounts. And for that, I've got a 10mm socket. Just break those loose real quick. Awesome. All right, let's pull this bad boy out of here. All right, we got the battery out, sitting on the bench. And if I look over here, looks like this was manufactured 5 of 24, so it is a pretty new battery. And I imagine it did just like he said. It sat over the winter, and it died. Let's see. Let's put a voltmeter on here and see what this tests. See how good or dead. That's interesting. It shows dead. I don't recommend this, but just to check my battery voltage, I know this battery works. Oh, that's great. So this doesn't work. It's dead. So I have no idea what the battery voltage is. Let's see if it's enough though to kick on my charger. Make sure we're on the right terminals here. All right, this is an AGM battery. I'll select the appropriate, and let's go rabbit. Well, it is charging, so it must have some voltage in it, because if the charger doesn't sense enough voltage, it won't charge. It just blinks and it tells me that, you know, nothing's connected. So we'll let that sit. In the meantime, let's go back to the ski and pull the plugs. Be sure to keep those in order, and let's see what the spark plugs look like. All right, we'll pull that cover off and work on these. So immediately I don't see a bunch of oil. I see grease on here, so that's good. I was concerned maybe that these would be full of oil. Doesn't appear to be. Very, very dry. Greasy, that's good. Oh, that one was loose. That scares me. Though quite clean. All right, let's see, what size do we think these are? This first try is a 5/8. Ooh. Do not want to get that stuck down in there. I don't think that's the size. And boy, maybe it is. Okay, well, just felt really, really tight. Yeah, okay, that one feels better. Let's start in the middle. Now, what we're looking to see here is that the spark plugs aren't super black or coated with oil. The seller did run it for just a very brief amount of time. We also don't want to see that it's running too lean. I'll be honest, that plug looks amazing. These are Diamond Fire E3s, so somebody put good plugs in them. It's at least had its plugs changed. We're going to keep these in order. I don't want to mix them up right now. So I'm not sure on the engine, like if it's 1, 2, 3, I would imagine it is. It makes sense in my non-mechanic brain. I think maybe we'll just call them 1, 2, 3. All right, so this has, I think it might be something off of the boot. See a little schmutz there. Doesn't smell like anything, but the head of the plug looks super good. I'm really, really happy with that. No indication of it burning oil. Actually, it looked quite clean. Okay, this one. Maybe I was just being a baby about it. Oh. You know how you do deals sometime and you think, man, I don't know. Is it too good to be true? It's kind of how I felt about this one. Yeah, this one looks just as good. Yeah, I don't see anything concerning, but that's how I felt about this deal, right? Like, I'm like, oh, man, the ski's going to be smoked. You know, they're going to be blown up. They have no compression, which it still may. But I mean, currently everything looks really, really good. All the spark plugs clean, you know, look pretty clean. I don't know if you can see that. The main thing is I don't see any sparkles. You know, I don't see any of that real expensive glitter. Smelling it, you know, I don't know. It might, I can't tell. You know, I was trying to see what it doesn't really have a fuel smell or a antifreeze smell. No, I can't tell. I think it's okay. You know, I'm sitting here smelling my fingers, and I see here on the valve cover 1, 2, 3. So 2 is 2, but I had my other numbers reversed, 1 and 3. So perfect. All right. Well, let's come back when the battery's charged enough that we can do a compression test. And cross our fingers. We want 120, 150. Okay, hey, good news. I'm dumb. My voltmeter, I had the black and the negative here in the 10 amp and not in the comm. So when we do that, I'm not sure you'll be able to see. I won't block the shot this time. We're showing a little over 12 volts, but actually 13. But I did just pull it off the battery charger. So I'll leave it on the charger for a couple more hours. So I'm happy this is working, but we're not going to get a compression check tonight. My compression tester is certainly not the right size. So here, let me show you. Here's the spark plug and the compression tester. So that's not going to go in there. So we'll have to wait till tomorrow. I got a couple really busy days at work here coming up, so not entirely sure. It's kind of a bummer. I really wanted to do a compression check on this, but you know, that's how things go. So we'll restart with a compression check back when I get a new tester. All right, guys, stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. It's the next day. Last night we left off with the compression tester not fitting down into the cylinder head and the battery charging. I'm happy to report the battery charged. It's full, ready to go, and I made another obligatory Harbor Freight run. I got a compression tester, a manual fluid extractor. I had one of these before, and it was awesome, and then my user error exploded it. And then we went and got a oil change kit. I only got one of them because the one jet ski rather is really good. Like the oil looks really good. But this one over here, the one we're working on, was the one that I wanted to change. So I'll get this stuff apart and we'll get to doing a compression check. All right, so I remember this from when the seller started it. These buttons are really sticky and kind of not functioning as well as you would hope. So let's take them apart and see if we can diagnose what is going on. I'll bring you back as soon as I get it apart. Okay, so I got this apart, and if I'm honest, it just looks dirty. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to clean this stuff up. That looks oddly broken. To be quite honest with you, I don't know. I'm not sure how this works, but that looks like I'm probably not the first person to be in here and to fiddle fart with this. So I think maybe we'll oh, I see. Okay, so it's just a pressure switch here. Okay, well, let's see if it'll crank by just pushing that button. All right, here's the key. $336 hours. Let's see if this cranks it. All right. Okay, well, let's get the compression stuff set up, and I'll bring you back. All right, so off camera, I went ahead and pulled that fuse box cover. I disabled the fuel pump and then the 3 cylinders. So I shouldn't have any fire going to the cylinder plug wires and no power going to the fuel pump. So when we crank this over, we shouldn't have any issues. All right, here's the compression tester. And what we're looking for is up here by 120. We're going to start on number 1. Okay. I'll hold that here so you can see. We're gonna put the key on. Yes, I hear you. And we'll give her a couple cranks, see how it goes. Okay, so cylinder 1 is let's call it 130. It's really close to 130. Okay, let me go record that. Okay, so I went ahead and put the battery charger back on just to help us. That sounded a little weak. So 130 pounds. I'm really, really excited about that. Let's hope number 2 here is as equally as good. Okay, golly. We're 145 on that one. Okay, so number 1, 130. Number 2, 145. Come on, baby. Let's go for another good number. I think we're going to be able to get it. All right. Yes, I know. All right, here it goes. Maybe not. I don't know, it won't crank. Maybe it doesn't like the battery charger. Well, let me bring you back. Okay, I think it was a key issue. Just didn't have it pushed on. So here we go. Golly, guys, that's 150 on that one. Very good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this number 1 and just retry it. Maybe I didn't crank it long enough, but even still, we want to be within 20% of each other. So 130, 145, and 150. That's really good. Let's go back to number 1 and see what number 1. Remember, number 1 was that plug that had that weird. You can see some of the. I don't know if it's corrosion or anti-seize. I don't know what it is, to be 100% honest with you. But let's go back up here and see what this one reads again. I'll get it there so you can read it. All right. Okay, 120 on that one. So still reading. So that one's a little low, but still really, really not bad. Okay, so a little math. So cylinders number 1, the first reading we had about 130. The second one we had clearly 120. So I didn't do an average, I just took the lowest one. Cylinder number 2, 145 and 150. So to calculate the 20% of that, we want to take 20% of the max, which is 150. So 0.20 times 150, that gives us 30. So we want to take 150 minus 30, it gives us 120. So 120 does represent our within 20% maximum allowable. Now, I've even, on some of the forums, I've seen even 10%. So that would be a little less. But the shop, my local Sea-Doo shop said 20%. And honestly, I think for what we're doing right now, this is perfect. I'm really excited about that. In my haste to do this, I grabbed a permanent marker, and well, it looks like it's coming off. I have some brake cleaner on here. I'll have to get a little more brake clean and make sure to use the dry erase. Great. Well, let's continue. Let's put the plugs back in and do an oil change service on this, and then I think we should run it. All right, we got you set back up here on the jet ski. I got my helper with me. He's going to climb up here, and he's going to get these spark plugs. I'm going to start him just because I don't want a stripped out head. But he's going to do his job here. Uh-oh, see? I'm talking trash about him, and I'm going to be the one. It's frustrating. What she really got down in there? Gee, Merry Christmas. All right. Okay, great. All right, buddy, you're going to need this. So we just want to take them snug. We don't want to get them too crazy tight. You can go ahead and start here. Make sure you're going the right way. And you're not. So go, there you go. So we're really, I'm really happy with those numbers for the engine. So I went back and calculated at 130, and you know, everything looks really good. Go ahead. The 10% number, it put us out of spec on the 10% number, but I want to say by 5 pounds. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think this motor's quite healthy. I know they haven't been run since last season, so getting it out, getting some heat in it might tighten up that number a little bit. Not really sure. So, but I'm not too concerned about it. So we're just taking those snug. So to do the oil change, it's kind of crazy. You have to suck the oil out of the engine case via the dipstick tube right here. So while he's finishing that off, we'll go ahead. Did you get that tight there, buddy? All right, before you take it out, let me verify. Okay, that's all the way down. Let me feel. It's kind of just a feel thing. You know, I'm sure there's a torque value, but you know, you can do it pretty close by feel. So this is all the way down, and we're going to hook up over here off a camera to the other plug here, and get this bad boy set up. We'll bring you back when we're sucking oil. All right, go ahead and start pumping. So here he goes. He's pumping now, and we have it on extract, I think. A little faster there, buddy. Yeah, there it goes. All right. A little bit more, maybe 4 more pumps there, buddy. So see the color of that oil? Kind of caramel colored. Definitely got some water in it. All right, now let it just go for a minute, Q. Yeah, so let's get that oil out of there. We'll suck all this out, and I'll bring you back when we start to get the oil change, or the oil filter rather. Okay, I brought you in close here. So this here, I don't know if it's a 12-point or if it's a Torx bit, but this 12-point socket fits it, and we're just going to go very gingerly. I do not have a, ooh, yeah, it went fine. I do not have the Torx bit socket. So we're sucking the oil out still. We're going kind of gingerly. The last one, this last pump I mentioned I had before, I was pulling oil out of an engine, and I pumped it too many times, and it imploded the vessel, and scared the heck out of me, and shot plastic all over the shop. So I don't want to do that again. Okay, so here comes the bolt. It's got a washer down there. You can see more of that crummy oil. You give me a rag. Cool. You get me one of the gray ones under the inside that bat. Yeah, there you go. Great. Okay. I have no idea, honestly, how this comes out. I don't know if it unscrews or if it just now comes loose. I don't know. It seemed to me that it would just lift off. Probably does. I'm scared to force it, you know? Oh, it looks like it's just a top cap. Oh, okay. All right, so let me get a little screwdriver down in there and see if I can't pop it up. So I was pretty concerned last night. You guys have probably seen my cats on the videos here. We got two little kitties. They're brothers and sisters. And the male cat last night didn't come back in. And I was pretty concerned because it's unlike him. But I thought, you know what? Maybe he's out gallivanting around, seeing what he can smell. Now they're both spayed and neutered, so I'm not worried about him getting into that kind of mischief. But this morning, when I came out, he still wasn't back. And I was actually even more concerned. Turns out, when I went up and let the chickens out, he had slipped into the chicken coop in the middle of the night, or I'm sorry, not in the middle of the night, but when I was locking them up, and he spent the night with the chickens. So everybody was happy. There were no missing chickens. So that's good. Hey, so I don't know how to do this. I'm going to look this up, and I'll come back when we learn what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, so I had to consult the much wiser internet, and you just had to keep wiggling it. So there's an O-ring, and then there's a gasket, and it's just press fit. So I was doing it correctly. I just was afraid to break it. So what's interesting about this is we have a K&N filter, part number 556 oil filter in here. So that's pretty exciting. I like to see that. Again, somebody was caring, not Karen. Somebody was caring enough to put K&N filters in it, E3 plugs. I bet once we find the air filter, I think it's up front, I bet she's going to have a K&N air filter in it as well. So we're still sucking oil. We'll bring you back when we start to put everything back together. So here's the contents of the oil change kit. 3 full quarts and 1 half quart filter in your O-rings. I like how they do that. There's no guessing or no measuring. The capacities, 3.5 quarts. Put it in. Cool. Okay, so here's the total oil I took out. Full oil is 3.5 quarts. That's 112 ounces. I removed 88 ounces of chocolate milk. It looks pretty bad, I'll be honest. I'm not thrilled with it. So we're missing 24 ounces, or we're 21, let's just call it 21.5% low. I don't know why that could be. Hard telling. It might be burning a little oil. Maybe I'd suspect that number 1 cylinder, who's slightly lower compression, but still within the 20% allowable. Something to watch. I can get pretty geeky on math and percentages and things, but I think that's what really tells the story about the health of an engine. So we're going to go ahead and put the new oil in, and we'll just watch it and see what happens. Okay, so here's the oil filter. I haven't read anything that says what way up, but the other one came off with the words up. I went ahead and oiled the seals a little bit. So we're going to do the same that they did. And off camera, I replaced the O-rings here. I misspoke earlier. I said an O-ring and a seal. It's 2 O-rings. And they just fit back down on there nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back in and not try to damage any of those O-rings. They feel I mean, it's pretty tight in there. Boy, that's tight. Okay, I think the bolt should bring it back down. Now, that's one thing I noticed here that they didn't include in the kit was this little O-ring here on the hold down. It'd be kind of nice. It'd be a nice added touch. Now I can see the lip over here of this canister, and okay, there it goes. It's going down nice and even, it looks like. I'm not going gorilla tight with it, you know, nice and even. And I think that's sufficient. Yeah, I like that. Okay, next up, let me grab a funnel. And we'll get to putting the oil in. All right, got the funnel here. I wiped it out. The schmutz you see on there is just a little bit of staining. So here goes the itty bitty half quart. Now what they sold me here is a 5-weight 40, and this will be more than sufficient for what we're doing here. Based on that oil, I will probably change this shortly after we get done testing in the jet boat. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to get this running, and I think I'm going to take it to a local lake. The weather here has been kind of mild, so I don't believe that any of the water is frozen. And I'd like to get a good baseline on how the jet ski is running before I go and do something like cutting it up and putting it in a John boat. So this will allow us to have an idea, you know, mannerisms of the jet ski before we put it in the John boat. I think that'll give us good testing. Maybe we can recheck the number 1 cylinder, you know, after a little bit of use, see if that pressures boost up a little bit. Oops, let's put a little bit. Why wouldn't we though? All right, this last quart's going in, and she'll be all done. And we're going to check it here, see how she looks. Should be nice and clean, hard to see. All right, that's all the way down. Okay. And now keep in mind the oil filter housing is not full, it's still empty. So we're showing right here. I'm certain after we run it, that level will come down and be right where we need it. So I'm going to replace the fuses, put the fuses back in for the coil packs, the fuel pump. I can't see how much fuel is in it. Oh yeah, I can. I would say a quarter tank, maybe between a quarter and a half. So I think we have enough to start it. I want to check coolant, make sure everything is good. I don't know how long we can run it not hooked up to a hose. I don't think very long. I'm going to have to do an internet search and see. From what I understand is that the water cools the exhaust because this is a closed loop system. So I think we can run it for a little bit, you know, a minute or so, see what it sounds like, see how responsive it is. So I'll get this buttoned up and we'll bring you back, and will it start? Okay, well, I think the time's come to give it a start. We've looked at the plugs, we've checked compression, we've changed the oil, we've changed the filter. I don't think it needs anything else. I've put the fuses back in. I think we can start it. I'm not going to run it any more than 5 to 10 seconds, just enough to maybe get some throttle response. It might puke out some more RV antifreeze. If it does, whatever, we'll clean it up. But here we go. I want to smell the smoke. No, it doesn't smell like oil at all. It smells maybe slightly rich, but it hasn't run all fall, all winter. I think that was great. I expected some of that antifreeze to come out. That's the pink non-toxic antifreeze. So even if my garage kitties get in it, which like I said, I'll clean it up. But man, I think it started really quick. I think that was really good. It sounded good. It sounded like it was hitting on all cylinders. Let's do it one more time. Man, I am thrilled with that. I think it sounds really, really good. The exhaust doesn't stink very bad at all. I love it. This was such a good deal. So here's the fuel, or I'm sorry, the fuel filter. Here's the oil filter. I went ahead and started slicing it. I want to pull these pleats out and see what kind of schmutz or glitter, kind of dirt. Doesn't feel like metal. And overall, the filter is pretty clean. There's some stuff, but it looks organic. It breaks up. There's a little bit of sparkles there. Nothing, I mean, not bad, right? I mean, you expect that there's going to be some. A little piece there. Not bad, though. My shop lights are pretty good right here. So we can probably see there's an itty bitty tiny piece here. For 300 hours, you expect that there's going to be something. Cat hairs for me. This all looks really, I'm not seeing a whole pleat of metal, or I'm not seeing anything at all that makes me scared, man. Again, I don't know how many hours were on this, but based on how that oil looked, there were some. Yeah, just a little bit, not much. Guys, I think we hit the jackpot. I think this is gonna turn out real nice. All right, everybody. I think this was a great week. We got a lot done. We were able to buy not one jet ski, but two. A beautiful trailer. We were able to clean the garage up, get the shop looking a little better, and get this Sea-Doo here ready to go. In the next week's episode, we're going to try to get this thing in the water. No guarantees. This is Ohio weather, so it could be 70 next week, to be quite honest. If it is, I'll try to get one in the water. If it's not, I think what we'll do is we'll push these outside and we'll work on getting the boat more prepared. I can't thank everybody enough for their views, their time spent watching the channel. We're already up to 20 subscribers. That's exciting. I love it. I really enjoy doing this stuff um, and sharing it with everybody here. So thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys next week.